I guess it's go time. So I just wanted to say a huge welcome to Sunday Night's Call. Whether you guys are watching it in person or watching the recording, definitely another reminder, just make sure you grab a pen and paper handy because you're going to want to take some notes. And, you know, who's not excited to be on Kevin and Peyton's call? I sure am. So my name is Suzanne Charlton, and I am from Vancouver, Canada. My first response to Kevin when he asked me to do the intro is like, no way. Like that, this is my largest fear, you guys. So, you know, groups of people, I was just like, I don't know. I have to really talk about myself. I would rather talk about you guys. So here's one thing when I share with you about myself, it's not to brag, it's to inspire you. I mean, if I can do this, you guys, you can do it too. As far as against all odds, Brett Coffey, who is my awesome business partner, yeah, he does all the live trainings because now you guys know my fear that I'm facing. And I work behind the scenes, you know, with everyone. I love supporting the team. But that's obviously starting to change as of today. We went area influencer in 24 hours, which I heard was a company record. And we are regional trainers. We're in 1,000,000%. I'm even wearing the sweatshirt just to prove it. Before I continue though, like we didn't do this ourselves. We did it with our team who have become our family. So if you guys have a glass, I want you to, it's my greens. I want you to raise it up. And I'm so happy and blessed that you guys are here. And I want to thank everyone on our team that supports one another. So cheers. I always say, like, embrace the uncertainty and face the fear, like just do it anyways. We all need a good why. Kevin asked me to say a why because it pushes us like through the not so good times. So I really want you, like, while you're listening to this call, like dig deep, like really write it down and dig deep what's sitting with your heart. Myself, I truly have a blessed life. I have you know, a healthy, loving family and hubby. I have a beautiful home. I have so many loving and caring friends. My 8 grandkids, they definitely push me forward. I need to know that in their future, that they're going to feel comfortable, they're going to be free to make their own choices in their life, and to also like feel safe in the world today. Plus, I have met so many people who are on the struggle bus. They get stuck in all their excuses, their fears, and like they all know that they need to shift something in their life. Like, for example, for me, way back 25 years ago, I'm kind of telling you my age, I know what it's like to be broke. Like, I know what it's like to be a single parent. I know what it's like to be abused mentally and physically. And FYI, dump that man. He's not my present husband. I know what it's like to doubt yourself and have lack of confidence. Today, I have released my past. I've learned life lessons, and I decided, like, no more. I have a purpose and clarity with huge boundaries in my life. So I'm continually working on educating myself and others. I'm already like blessed financially, which is, you know, for me, one of my huge whys is to support those to get out of their own way, like have a side gig. Don't take things so personally. I'm also really taking my health seriously, as my husband just 1 month ago, for those of you who don't know, had a heart attack, and he had 5 bypasses, one of the scariest days of our lives because we did not have nothing showed us that he was going to have it. I mean, people say, well, didn't he eat unhealthy? No, he ate healthy. He really doesn't drink alcohol, but in reality, it was the stress. So my why and my faith, and I could go more deeper into my why, but I'd probably cry, so I'm not going to do it today. But my why and my faith the last month has kept me going strong alongside the love of so many of you guys, and I'm just really grateful for that. Again, like my why is to teach other people to be loved unconditionally. And most importantly, like love yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. We used to think that was a bad thing. You got to love yourself no matter what you've been through. It's a life lesson. Once you guys hear and know how important this one product, actually, I was going to have a product thing in front of me, but, and the business, well, it really hit home with me, like heart health, blood flow, alkalinity, your mindset, exercise, take care of yourself, your inner peace, and then also people who really care about you. So I'm coming to an end. I'm kind of short and sweet, but I want to introduce to you my awesome friend who I feel like I have known forever. He tells me he's an amazing husband. He definitely is a kind, loving father. He's been really successful in so many areas of his life. You can honestly, if you know this man, you can feel his passion and his gratefulness. And I wouldn't be doing this intro if it wasn't for him. So his own success isn't motivational enough. It's what he can do for you guys. So thank you again for having me here. And here's Kevin Goldberg.
Oh, thank you. That was such a sweet intro. I'm over here like, oh man, I love to stir the pot at times. I've been thinking all day, I love to stir the pot. And I thought, what better way to do that than to have Suzanne intro the call?
You totally did that, but I'm glad I can breathe now. So you continue on.
You did so awesome. I'm so grateful. I appreciate it. Okay, so I want to dive into something. So I have had one of the craziest weeks in a long time. I realized a weekend ago that I was building wrong. I was completely building wrong. I was basically ignorance on fire. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't fully understand the compensation plan. And I was like, I need to understand the compensation plan. And then I understand it and I realized, whoa, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have built the way I built. I'd have built it different. And I'm like, so I have 3 goals tonight. 3 goals. Number 1 is I hope that you understand the structure. And so bear with me while I try this screen share deal. I want you to see a slide. Tell me in the chat if you guys can see this. Can you see this? It says get promoted. What can you guys see it? Show me on the chat. Can you see it? Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what I want you to understand. A lot of you on the call already get it. It says as a qualified influencer, you must sponsor 3 QIs and have a total of 12 QIs on your team in any configuration. That always confused me. So I had to dumb it down so I understand it in this sense where it says, okay, step 1, I got to sign up 3 people. Okay, 3 people. They have to come in for either the $397 qualified influencer pack or the pro pack as a trainer at $697. If I sign up 3 and then they get 3, that's probably the most ideal setup, but does it ever really work like that? If it does, awesome, you'll end up with that $100 bonus in the matrix. So that's the idea. If you don't, it could be any configuration. You could get all 12 yourself. You could have 3 and then one person goes and gets 9 more. So long as you have a total of 12, and one person came in for $697 as a trainer out of the entire 12, including you, that would promote you to area. So please take attention to the slide there and see that. And now it's like, that slide never made sense. So to me, it was like sign up 3 personally for $400 or $700 and help them go get 3 or a total of 12, however you can structure it, as fast as you possibly can. So every single person that is on this call tonight, if you don't already have that structure, that's your first metric. That's the first step. That structure is so important. Sign up 3 and help them get 3, or sign up 3 and have a total of 12 with 1 trainer. Do that, you go area. The moment you've done that, 2 things happen. Number 1, you make more money. And number 2, you start over to go into a new code. And you have to do something else to rank up. Well, guess what? It's exactly what you just did, but you got to go get 7 people to do that. So the first thing you do is you sign up 3, and then you do what you just did over again. That duplication model right there out in the field, everybody was focused on $50, everybody's focused on product, everybody's focused on this and that. I see it like I had a conversation this week. I've been really busy. I posted a story. I got 3 customers. I posted a story. I got 4 customers. I started talking to different people in public. I got some customers. They asked me about the business. And when they got weird about the $400 and the training, I thought they were better as a customer. And then it kind of separated the two that way. Sorry, I had to mute out. And so I've sat down, I've gone out this week and I've sat down with many people. I've had people come over. I've gone to people. I've been all over. I've done it on Zoom. This week, I've spent so much of my efforts explaining that structure of signing up 3 and getting a total of 12 with one trainer. That is the thing we should be teaching everywhere out there. Once that's understood, then us running to get people to upgrade, getting people to come in and get trained, that's the thing. And I've fielded a lot of phone calls of people saying, well, I'm just going to wait and I'm not going to get going. I'm just going to get a few customers. I'm queuing up my next run while I'm driving depth within my organization to go to regional. When you look at the pay plan and you look at all 3 areas, the area code, the regional code, the national code, your goal should be to run to regional as fast as possible. The moment you go to regional, what would have been hundreds and thousands of dollars becomes hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's like that structure of the 3 with a total of 12 and one trainer becomes the goal, because that's the building block to do everything else. And I know we've talked about it till we're blue in the face on other trainings, but having everyone know that and running to regional, that's the model. I want you to imagine what I see in my mind, and then I'm done. Someone comes in, that's all they're taught. They go out and they hit area really fast. Nobody's held their hand, had all these conversations with them. They hit area. Kind of like Suzanne and Brett hit area very, very fast. Like somebody comes in, hits area really quick, says, oh, what do I have to do to move forward? You say, oh, you got to go to regional. What do you do to regional? Well, I got to get 7 areas. Well, I'm an area. I know what I did. Let me go get 7 of those. And they do that. Maybe they're sharing videos, and every single one of those people is getting trained within 24 to 48 hours. The speed at which that could go could mean the run of you going from this being some part-time thing where you get a few customers and you make a little money, to all of a sudden being able to pay for the entirety of life monthly at whatever like lifestyle that you want to live. It can go fast. We're starting weekly meetings. There's a weekly meeting on Wednesday in Utah. There's a weekly meeting on Thursday in Utah in 2 different locations. You can text me to get those. You heard on that call on Monday that the customers side is going to be separate. There's going to be a separate website, a separate offering, a separate back office, all for the customer side. When you look at the way the compensation plan is laid out, if somebody wants to come in to do the business for 50, it almost makes more sense to have them be a customer. And then when they're ready to do the business, to have the conversation about coming in to get trained. Because the training's about to be such an incredible offering for every single person that we're talking to, that they're going to get way more value out of that and know what to do. And so I see that 2, 3, 4 months out, when you have people going area in a day, people going area in a week, people going area in 2 weeks, people going regional in a month, people going regional their first month. And you'll start to see that happen. It's like, that should be the goal of every one of you tonight, is run to regional as fast as you can. How do you do that? Go area. How do you go area? That's 3. If you haven't signed up 3, share the video with 10 or 20 people. What video? It doesn't matter. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Just talk to people. The next time you're sitting in traffic, realize that half these people, 3/4 of these people don't know about the business. Roll your window down. So if you don't have a weekly meeting going in your area, you could do that. If you don't have, people for a call, you could do that. If you need systems, you could do that. If you need leads, you could do that. There's people everywhere. It's just a matter of, if you want the result, you do the action. So I'm going to pass it to Peyton. I hope you take away, and I was the structure of 3 and then a total of 12 that have come in for the QI pack or the Pro pack, and you need one trainer. So Peyton, are you on? Oh, you're muted.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, well, thanks so much, Kevin. That was perfect. So usually I like to kind of like think about this call through the afternoon and reflect on the week before and whatnot, and kind of jot some notes. And then usually I have some well-polished package for you guys. But today I've just been kind of reflecting on we're in essence 93, 94 days into the launch of AAO, right? So the company as we know it today has already been through many different renditions. And one of the things we used to joke about is we said this business is like dog years, in that it's only been 3 months and yet it feels like we've already all been together in this race for years. And it's like, gosh, you've already seen it in your team. You've had people that have doubts. You have maybe doubts of your own. You have excitements. There's change. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, the stamina to do this in the long term is really one of the skill sets. But as I'm listening to Kevin, and Kevin, just nailed it. I can really tell that just in the last week, the business has clicked for him, right? And I think that's one of the things that each and every one of us have to do as leaders, is that there's a moment in time. Kevin always says how there's a moment when people join, and then there's a moment when people start, and that isn't always the same time. Although the better that we get as leaders, the more we can close that gap for people so that we can help them get started and start, enroll and start at the same time. So the thought that I had right now is that, what Kevin just described basically is the day one, week one mentality of the business. And the day one, week one mentality is basically anytime that you get started in anything, whether it's a new diet or whether it's a new business or whatever, it's really easy to have that enthusiasm, to have that excitement. And usually it's a result of not knowing too much, not having thought too much, right? You're just like, you know what? I have a plan. I'm going to start. Sky's the limit. And then over time, it's easy for us to decelerate a little bit. And so what I want to do is, Kevin just basically gave you the day one, week one mentality. I'm like, really at the root of the whole business, a year from now, we will be doing the same thing. It will be counseling with leaders that are getting started, that are coming to see the vision. And we're going to have 6 and 7 figure earners probably by that point. And we're going to be, doing circle ups with them and private Zooms for those teams. And we're going to be talking about, basically getting through that area code, just like Kevin just described. Now, the back end of that is how do we put ourselves in a position so that a year from now, our personal lives are different. Our influence is different. We are different. And the thing I want to offer right now is that I'm going to offer a little bit of nutritional advice. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this, of course, is a health company. But I thought to myself, I said, what do I know that I also need to hear right now? Okay, so that's where this is going to come from. What do I already know that I also need to hear right now? And here's a couple of things I started thinking about. And this is going to tie in directly to building the business and what happens to people, and how a quarter from now, 2 quarters from now, next year at this time, we really can be in a completely different place. Because the thing that I heard this last weekend at the training that has echoed with me all week is, what are your New Year's resolutions going to be? What are your New Year's resolutions going to be? And you got to ask yourself, are they going to be the same as they were the last couple of years? And now Kevin knows this about me, but one of my favorite rap songs has a line in it. It says, my New Year's resolution was do everything I usually do better than I usually does. And I've been saying that for like 10 years. And when I heard this idea of like, is your New Year's resolution going to be the same thing that it's been last year and the year before and the year before? I was like, oh no, like I got to change. That's what I thought to myself, is I said, I got to change. So what I started to think about is one of the fastest ways that we can gain influence in our worlds is through health and wellness, because it's tangible. Your energy shows up different. Whether your physique changes or your skin changes or your tone changes or your, brightness changes or your fatigue changes or your, energy, whatever it is that if you work on your health and fitness, it has a positive ripple effect into every part of your life. And if you can learn health and fitness, you can learn the business of AAO. And let me explain why. Okay, so first couple of things I want to think about. Are you going to wait? Am I going to wait? Kevin, are you going to wait? Are you going to wait until January 1st or January 5th or January 15th this year to get back in shape, or to start to get in shape, or to change? Or are you going to be 60 days or 45 days into it? Because the truth is, I've heard it said a bunch of different ways, but you can literally get in shape in about 120 hours of fitness. So that's 2 workouts a day for 60 days, or that's a workout a day for 4 months, or whatever, about 120 hours of workouts, or maybe it takes 6 months if you're working out a couple of days a week. But if we start now, it's like if we get, an hour a day in for 4 days a week for the next 7 weeks, we get to start the new year 30 hours into that, a quarter of the way into getting in shape. And so I know for me, I don't want to be recovering for the holidays on January 5th. I want to be flying with colors. So when I go to get in shape, here's a couple of things that I would encourage everybody to think about. Hydration is everything. So one of the benefits of drinking Active Greens is that it's going to help you get hydrated. So of course, the 5 non-negotiables, drinking Active Greens every single day. Shoot to get half of your body weight in pounds in ounces in water. So if you weigh 120 pounds, try to drink 60 ounces of water a day. That's a huge thing. That is going to help with cravings and satiety, especially going through the holidays. Next piece of the puzzle. Unless you're doing some type of fasting program or something like that, focus on getting your first 25 to 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. If you ever take the time to scan and track your nutrition at all, the vast majority of people, the reason that weight sticks with us, right, that we can't release weight, is because we're not consuming enough protein. And all you have to do is track your protein on like a MyFitnessPal or a MacroStacks or like a free thing like that every day for a week or two, and you'll figure out really quickly just, what type of protein that you need. A really simple idea for protein is 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. So if you weigh 150 and you want to weigh 140, try and eat 140 grams of protein per day. Super easy. And the thing that I love about this is, guess what? You can do this at Thanksgiving. Turkey is incredibly protein rich. You can do this at Christmas. And here's one of the great pieces is that if you eat enough protein, it will suppress your cravings for sugar. It will suppress your cravings for pie and pumpkin pie and whipped cream and cranberry and all the other great things that we're about to have, right? But those things alone will make a massive, massive difference. Now, one more thing I'm going to add to it. Find a way to get some resistance training in 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. You probably don't need to do more than that. Walking is a great thing, but resistance training. And I might throw some resistance training ideas, some very, very basic things that everybody can do regardless of the level of fitness that you're at. But you can find it on YouTube too. Body weight squats, push-ups, pull-ups if you have a pull-up bar, just different motions, lunges, all those things. A great way to get that in is to just set yourself a timer for 5 minutes and say, hey, just get a few in, get a few squats and see how many squats you can get in 5 minutes, or see how many lunges or something like that. So why do I talk about this, and what does it actually have to do with Active Greens? Well, I'll tell you one thing is that come January 15th, if you already are in better shape than you are at present moment, it is going to be easy to have the conversation with people to say, yeah, I've really been working on my fitness. I feel great. And guess what? Almost everybody come January 15th is going to be saying, oh man, I put on 10 pounds during the holidays. I got to get it off. And say, now we're not in weight loss, but we are in well-being, right? And so if we're representing well-being, then that's going to carry over to everything. Here's the thing that I would think about one step further. So when it comes to building AAO, when it comes to building a sales organization, a network marketing downline, there's things that we talk about all the time. And one of those things is mindset. The other thing that we talk about is activity. And when we talk about activity and mindset, I want you to start thinking about activity as weightlifting or as resistance training. And I want you to think about mindset as nutrition. Okay. And if you can start to play back and forth on this in your actual resistance training and your nutrition, and then you can play back and forth on this in your philosophy, in your business, you'll have enormous results. And what do I mean by that? Have you ever heard the saying that you cannot out-train a bad diet? So it doesn't matter how hard you lift weights. It doesn't matter if you do two workouts a day. It doesn't matter if you do 2 workouts a day, do 75 hard and go to the gym. It doesn't matter if you hit the treadmill and lift weights and go to CrossFit and go to Pilates and go to yoga. If your nutrition is not serving you, you cannot develop a optimal physique. And on the flip side, have you ever known anybody who is just obsessed with watching their food all the time, watching their diet, watching their food, watching their diet, watching their food, and their clothes never fit the way that they want to. They never have the transformation that they want. They never carry themselves the way they want. You can't only eat well and expect your body to transform into its optimal size or its optimal shape or its optimal performance. So the last thing I'm gonna have to say about that is that in the business, you can hit the phones, you can send the DMs, you can connect with people, you can post on social media, you can talk and pitch and send links and boom, 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 boom. And if the mindset's not right, if you're not cultivating a philosophy that is a winning philosophy that's focused on the future, that's focused on growth, that is developing a belief in your dream and in your vision, both for yourself and for your organization and for AAO, you might get some sales. You might even have a little bit of growth, but your organization is likely not going to become one of these breakout organizations. And on the flip side, if you, and I'm super guilty of this, every one of us are, if you study Ray Higdon, and if you study, Jim Rohn, and if you study Larry Thompson, if you study Nathan Ricks, if you study the greats of network marketing, you get your mindset right, and you do your affirmations, and you think to yourself like, goals, I'm going to, how many times have you written a goal, that says I'm going to earn $5,000 by Christmas? Or how many times have you written a goal that says I enjoy earning $10,000 each and every month, effortlessly and easily, like Bob Proctor, right? But if you're not putting in the reps, if you're not sending the messages, if you're not making the contacts, if you're not having the conversations, again, you're not going to have the type of result that you truly, truly want. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. This is a pair. I'm in my daughter's little craft room right now, and there's this little pair of binoculars. So what do binoculars have to do with anything, right? Well, what does a binocular do? A binocular helps you look out into the distance, and it helps you bring something into focus that already exists. It just is a little bit farther than we can see. And so my invitation for you is threefold. First of all, are you seeing past what's going on today? Changes in the company, changes in the program, uncertainty, stuff like that, people getting in, people quitting, feedback, blah, 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 blah. Can you see forward to the point where this is a monster deal and we have world-class events and people are super paid and people have changed their lives because of the product, and we're doing this everywhere, right? Because it's right out there. I don't know if it's 6 months away or if it's 60 months away, but it's out there, right? And then the next thing is, are you seeing past where you've ever put yourself before in your relationships, in fitness, in business, in your life? And the last piece of that puzzle is, have you given yourself permission yet to tap deeply into the desire that you have to go out there and to effing win, right? What does that mean to you? It could be blessing up your people. It could be taking care of your family. It could be putting up massive numbers. It could be running to the top of the leaderboard in a company. It could be being, competitive in your gym if you're into that kind of thing. It could be just like stunting. Kevin and I talk about it. Like, what would it be like to just break out at such a level in the next 3, 6, 12 months that you're unrecognizable? And if you can focus in on that, and then you can combine the nutrition and the resistance training, both physically and metaphorically, then the world is our oyster. So if anybody has any additional nutrition questions, I would love to help people, transform yourself. Like, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not a nutritionist, but I have an enormous amount of athletic training background and reflection on food and so many different things. And I know fundamentally, if you are not necessarily coming from a place of posture where you're really, really, really confident, like you walk around like you're the jam, moving the checkers forward in that arena is usually one of the fastest ways that we can help you do that. I'm going to be working on it myself. I've kind of got myself in a place that I'm less preferential of. And I want to, along with anybody else that does, go to the top, win, live a magnificent existence. And with that, thank you guys. Happy Sunday. Let's go.